On page 135, we begin our activity 7, which is learning the vocabulary of academic lectures. And I think you did your homework, right? Raise your hand if you did your homework. Yay, okay, good. So that means that you looked up the academic word in an English dictionary and you copied the pronunciation, right? Yes. From your dictionary. Okay, so I'm going to use this one, this dictionary of American, this is the American Heritage ESL dictionary, and you can use the same dictionary or a different one. How many of you are using this dictionary? How many of you have this dictionary? Okay, that's great. And some of you are using a different dictionary. That's okay too, as long as you understand the pronunciation symbols. But we remember that all of the dictionaries have the same thing in terms of dots, how many syllables there are. So 2 dots means 3 syllables and 3 dots means 4 syllables because it divides the word. And remember, that's written. In written form, that's where you divide it. In spoken form, it helps you with the syllables, but sometimes we divide the consonants and vowels in a different place. And of course, you have to finish by putting in the syllable stress code. So our first word is authority. Authority. How many syllables do we see in this word? Authority has 4. Good. Authority. Where's the stress? Second? Good. So the syllable stress code is 4-2, exactly. What part of speech is authority? Noun. It's a noun. It means someone who is an accepted source of reliable information or advice on a subject. For example, when I was developing this chapter about sleep, I read a lot and I talked to the professor at Stanford University he's a worldwide authority on the topic of sleep and sleep debt. And his name is Dr. William Dement. And a lot of people consider me an authority on pronunciation and listening and speaking. And that's why other colleges hire me to present workshops to their teachers. Authority. So that's a person who has is expert, is skillful in a particular area. How do you say that word? Authority. Authority. Good. Can you move your body like mine? Authority. Watch me. Authority. Very good. I like that stress. Now I think it's also important for you to move your tongue like mine. So take your mirror out, please. Look at your mirror because then you can see your lovely tongue. How about some tongue exercises? Can I hear you do your tongue exercise? Show me your tongue. Come on, show me your tongue. That looks great. Okay, make your tongue wiggle. Authority. Ah, very good, very good. Okay. Now let's look at our second word. The word is accumulate. How many dots? 3 dots means 4 syllables. Accumulate. And the syllable stress code is 4-2 because we rise on the second syllable. Watch me. Accumulate. Show me. Accumulate. Oh, I want everybody to show me. Show me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Accumulate. Show me. Accumulate. Good. Excellent. So remember to learn pronunciation with your whole body. Accumulate is a verb. And when you accumulate, you collect things. Okay? So if you accumulate a lot of wealth, that means you save a lot of money. You save a lot of money until you're very rich. You accumulate wealth. But you could also accumulate knowledge. I think I prefer to accumulate knowledge because my knowledge will help me learn a lot. So I am not giving you any money, you guys, but I hope I'm giving you some knowledge and some skills and understanding about the English language. Is that good? Yeah. Good. Okay. So you could also accumulate things in your house. Maybe if you accumulate too many newspapers, your newspapers pile up. And then you can go and recycle them. All right, so that's a verb. The next word is, do you have a question?
Yes.
About accumulate?
Yes. Can you say you want to have accumulate education? No.
All right, you don't accumulate education, but you accumulate knowledge and you accumulate skills, and that's part of your education. During your process of education, then you accumulate skills, you accumulate knowledge.
Oh, it's a process then?
So it's the many things that you do. When you accumulate things, you add more to it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so the next word is concentrate. How many syllables do we have in concentrate? 3. Good. Where's the stress? 1. Right. Concentrate. Also a verb. So when you concentrate, that means you focus all of your thoughts or your mental activity on just one subject or one activity. Usually you do it in silence. Usually you do. You can concentrate on something. What are you doing? I'm concentrating. I'm concentrating my energy. I'm concentrating my thoughts on something. Now, both of these words, accumulate and concentrate, have the same ending, ate. Do you see that? The suffix ate? The suffix ate is a verb. And if we want to make it into a noun, we say ation. So like concentration. Right? Can you see that? Watch me. Concentration. Very good. Now watch this. Accumulation. Very good. So anytime you have ation, always go like this. Ation. You know, any syllables, 1 syllable, 2 syllables, relation. Or many syllables, concentration. Or many more syllables, accumulation. So if you learn this stress pattern, then it's easy. Anytime you see a word that ends with ation or ishin or ushin, then you have that same stress pattern. For example, pollution, ignition, recognition. So ishin, ushin, ation, always stressed on the second to the last syllable. Not the last, but the second to the last syllable. That's for the noun form. Let's look at number 4. The word is conduct. How many syllables? Conduct. 2. Where's the stress? 2 is second syllable. So don't say con, say conduct. Watch me. Conduct. Right. Okay, when you conduct, it means you manage or you direct or you control something. Suppose you're in an orchestra and you play the violin and somebody else plays a horn, and then one person in the front goes like this. That's a conductor, right? So the conductor is telling you, this is how you follow the dun dun dun, the beat. Okay, so that's the one who conducts. So conduct can be for an orchestra, or conduct can be just for managing. So you can say a teacher teaches the students, but also sometimes organizes different activities and conducts a lecture or conducts the activities. It means directs them or monitors them. Okay, let's look at the next word. It's consequence. Consequence. 3 syllables, stress. The first one, right. Consequence is a noun, and that means it's the result of doing something. You know, when you do something, you have a cause and you have an effect. You have a reason and you have a result. You have a reason, you have a consequence. You do something and it has certain consequences. For example, you know you're going to have a test tomorrow, so you study and you review and you practice by yourself or with a book or with your CDs and watch the videos and practice with your partner. And what are the consequences? The consequences, you do very well on the test, right? Oh, but you say tomorrow's a test and you don't study and you don't review and you don't practice. What are the consequences? Maybe the consequences are not so good, right? So whatever action you do now will have some consequences later. Got the idea? Good. Okay, let's do number 6. The word is economy. Economy has 4 syllables and it's stressed on the where? Where is it stressed? Can you help me, please? 2. Okay, watch me. Economy. Show me. Economy. Good. I want to see the whole class. Show me. Again. How do you say the word? Economy. Very nice. All right. The economy is it's not so good these last few years, the economy in the United States. It's kind of down. We were hoping that it will go up. So the economy is a noun. Economy is a noun. And so that means the production and consumption of goods and services of a country or a region or a state. So it could be the national economy, the state economy, the local economy. And I want to tell you about the adjective form because it's also a common word and it has a different stress pattern. Economical. Has 5 syllables. Watch me. Watch me. Economical. Economical. You know, AL can be an adjective, right? Central and center and central. You know those nature and natural. AL is a suffix for an adjective. This one is also a suffix for the adjective economical.
Economical.
Yes, but we see that in terms of the stress, it's different because for economy, it's stressed on the second syllable, but for economical, it's stressed on the third syllable. All right, so what is the adjective? Which one is the adjective? Economical. Can you say that for me, please? And show me. Economical. Beautiful. And what is the noun? Watch me. Economy, no stress. If I say economy, no. Economy.
Economy.
Good. Now say that with confidence. Economy.
Economy.
Very nice. Okay. Oh, by the way, did you see my new online practice quizzes? Did you see those? Yes? Did you start taking those quizzes?
No.
Okay, some of you say yes, and some of you say no. Oh, if you said no, you're saying, where are they? Where do I find them? Can somebody help? Where do you find them? In Angel, in lessons, in practice quizzes, and then all sorts of new quizzes for you for Chapter 4. I've been busy to try to help you learn and practice, especially for syllables and stress. It's important, right? Okay, let's go to number 7. The word is emphasize. Emphasize. How many syllables? 3. Where is the stress? 1. Emphasize. All right, let me remind you. Use your body to emphasize the stress syllable. All right, use your body to emphasize the stress syllable. Show me. Emphasize. Very nice. Now, emphasize means to place importance on something and to stress it. So I'm asking you to use your body to emphasize the stressed syllable. And I use my hands and my face to emphasize the stressed syllable. I open my eyes to emphasize the idea. Okay, so you use a lot of part of your body to speak well. So if you have your eyes closed like this and you say, emphasize, not very good, but you say emphasize, then everybody can understand very easily, right? Okay, good. So emphasize is the verb. Now, the noun looks a little bit similar, but the ending is different. So look at me. Look at me. Emphasis. 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 It has the same syllable stress code, 3-1, but sis and size are different. So emphasis is the noun, S-I-S, and emphasize, S-I-Z-E, is the verb. So we say to place emphasis on something. We place our emphasis on the first syllable of both of these words. We have to place emphasis on the main idea. So we place emphasis on something, or we emphasize it. And they both have the same meaning. They belong to the same family. What's the noun? Emphasis. And the verb? Emphasize. Very good. All right, number 8 is expert. Expert. Expert has 2 syllables, and it's stressed on the first, right? So 2-1, expert. An expert is a noun, and that means a person with a great knowledge or skill in a particular field, okay? So I'm not an expert about taking care of my automobile. So I always take my car to an auto mechanic because I don't know how to fix it myself. I'm not an expert on cars. I don't know what to do. I only like to drive them, but I do not know how to fix them, right? And so I ask somebody else because if they're an expert, I want expert advice on it. The word expert can be both a noun and an adjective. So when I just said, I need your expert advice, is that a noun or an adjective? That's an adjective because I need your advice. That's a noun. And what kind of advice do you have? You have expert advice because you are an expert. So if you are an expert, that means you have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of skill in this. And I trust you to give me more knowledge than I have, right? I don't have that skill. I don't have that knowledge. So if you are an expert in something, I will ask your advice. For example, I'm not a doctor. So if I want medical advice, I'm going to go to an expert. I have some friends who are doctors, and I call them up and I say, my friend so-and-so, I know you're a doctor and I have a health problem. Can you give me some advice? You're the expert. I'm not. So I ask an expert to tell me about medical conditions, or maybe some advice on how to cure the problem, something like that, right? Okay. So it's the expert is like authority. Expert is like authority. Okay? And authority means that, you know, a lot of people recognize you as having this expertise. So that's another word. If you are an expert in something, then we can say you have expertise in that. And that ending is ISE. And we kind of pronounce it a little bit like the French, because it's a French word, expertise. So if you have expertise in a certain area, we will listen to you. So some people think that I have expertise in conversation and listening and speaking and technology, and they invite me to their organization to teach them something that I know. For example, yesterday I got a call from a friend of mine who said, they're looking for somebody who can teach technology and language learning. I said, ooh, I can do that. So maybe next summer I will teach them because they recognize my expertise. Now let's look at the next word. It's called function. Number 9 is function. 2 syllables, and stress the first one, function. Now function can be both a noun and a verb. When we use it as a verb, it means to perform a task, to do something, to work well, or to maybe not work well. And it also has a noun that means the purpose. So if I say, I'm buying, maybe I want to buy a piece of equipment. Maybe I want to buy a television, and I want to look for certain functions, right? So certain things that it can do. That's a noun. If I say, for example, my computer is not functioning well, it's sick. I have to take it to the doctor, the computer doctor, because I have to get an expert to do that. So what does it mean? It's not functioning well. It's not working well. Some functions are okay, but some functions are not working well. So I had to take my computer. So that's another reason I'm kind of sad, because I had to take my favorite my big computer, the one I use at home with all of my data. I had to take it, but I put it in the expert hands of the Apple geniuses. They're going to help me examine it. They're going to look into it and help me find out what's functioning well and what's not functioning well. Some things, you know, just like your automobile, right? Just like your car. If it doesn't function well, the mechanic will tell you, hey, this works and that doesn't. It's going to cost you a little money to fix it. You want to fix it? Right. So function can be both a noun and a verb and a noun. All right. So function, even though it has T-I-O-N, it can be a verb. We already know that shun can be a noun, right? Usually shun is a noun, but sometimes it's also a verb. Turn the page. We have number 10 is internal. Internal. Internal has 3 syllables. Where's the stress? On the second one? Okay, let's say internal. Right. Okay. Internal has an AL ending. What does that mean? If it has AL ending, it's an adjective, right? So internal means inside or within. So you can talk about your internal feelings. That means inside of you. You can also say external is the opposite. EX is outside. So external and internal. So sometimes people say, how can we learn English faster? How can we learn English better? How can we learn English more efficiently? And I always say, there are many, many, many factors. We can't go into all the factors now. But one of the factors is to consider your own motivation, your own reason. If you have internal motivation, that means inside of you, you really want to learn, and you think you need to learn. We also have external motivation. That means your boss wants you to learn, your mom wants you to learn, your husband wants you to learn, your society wants you to learn. You feel like the pressure is coming from outside. That's external. But if it's internal, you want to learn.
What about if it's both?
So internal means it's coming from inside, inside. So we know other words that in, the prefix in means inside. For example, interior and exterior, you know those words? Those are opposites. So for example, when we paint the house, we can paint the exterior of the house, that would be the outside, but we can also paint the interior, which means the rooms. All right, so we see that the word in, sometimes it means not, like inseparable. That's not separable, but sometimes it means inside. And in this case, it means inside. So internal means inside. Did you have a question, Anju? Did you have a question?
What if you have internal and what was the you said
External?
external and internal? If you're feeling both?
Oh, okay. All right. So, yes, when I give the example of why are you learning English, and maybe you say, well, I have internal motivation and external. Sure, you can have both kinds of motivation. I want to learn because I really want to get better at English. That's internal, right? And then you also say, well, my mom wants me to learn.
Right.
My friends want me to learn. My boss wants me to learn. I need to learn because I have to work with other people. So usually in an English-speaking environment in America, you have both internal and external motivation. But maybe when you were in your own country, there was not really a need to learn English for your society, for your neighborhood, for your school. So maybe your motivation was only internal. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe you were forced to take English classes. That was just one of the subjects you had to take. And you didn't do it because you wanted to. You did it because you had to. Maybe, right? I don't know.
How do you know which one you feel?
How do you know which one you feel? Maybe you can think about it and say, am I taking Marsha Chan's oral communication class because I have to? Are they forcing me to do it? Or did I choose it? Did I say, oh, I want to take this class? Am I internally motivated? You can think of it probably in your case, it's both. You have some internal motivations and some external motivations together.
Right.
But now I'm just explaining to you. You understand the meaning internal, external?
Oh, yes.
Good. Ready to go on to the next one?
Yes.
The word is mechanism. Now, I want you to pay attention to the difference between English writing and English speaking. Because when you look in the dictionary, how many dots do you see? How many dots do you see in your dictionary? Only 2. That is because in writing, when we divide a word that ends with ISM, we only keep those together even though we pronounce that as 2 syllables. In English, we don't say ism, we say ism, ism. So if you look at the pronunciation symbols, you'll see the pronunciation symbols are also showing you a schwa sound right before the So if you look at ism, you will see that it has 2 vowel sounds in it. So even though there are only 2 dots, although in writing there are 3 syllables, in speaking there are 4. So me, ka, ni, zum. Let's say it slowly. Me, ka, ni, zum. Mechanism. Mechanism. Right. So if we look at it in terms of oral, then we can say it has 4 syllables and it's stressed on the first. 4-1. Good. Let's say it. Mechanism. Show me. Mechanism. Rise on the first syllable. Mechanism. Right. So a mechanism means a system of parts that work together to perform a particular task. So a mechanism has several parts, and the parts together can perform some sort of action. But one part by itself does nothing. But the mechanism means several things work together. All right, now let's take a look at the next word. It's objective. Objective. 2 dots means 3 syllables, and this one really is 3 syllables. Objective. And where's the stress? Second one. All right, so 3-2 words. Show me how to say this word. Objective. Objective. Very nice. Okay, so objective. If you are giving some objective information, that's an adjective. It means it's factual information. It's fair. It's not influenced by your own emotion or opinion. For example, if I say there are 30 students in the class, that's objective. I can count. Maybe they're 27. That's an objective number. So nobody will disagree with that. all right? If something is objective, it's factual, and we can prove it, and most people, everybody will say, yes, that's true. It's not an opinion, all right? So objective, an objective statement. Let's, instead of going to number 13, let's go down to number 18, because these two are opposites. One of them is objective, and number 18 is subjective. Subjective also has 3 syllables. Subjective, subjective. So this is the opposite, and it's also an adjective. So this means based on personal opinions or emotions rather than on facts. For example, if I say, you look beautiful today, is that a fact or is that an opinion? That's an opinion. I think you look beautiful, but maybe she thinks you look ugly. Or maybe he thinks he's, oh, so, I don't care, good, bad, whatever. It's an opinion. So that is subjective. That statement is subjective, right? All right, so if you have a statement of opinion, then that is subjective. If you have a statement of fact, then that is objective. So it's very important if you do research, when you're doing your papers, you need to know the difference between objective and subjective. Okay, now, for example, I'll give you another example. You know, recently I've been taking care of my father, right? And he has pain. He has a lot of pain. And the doctors and the nurses, maybe this happens to you when you go to see the doctor. And the nurse or the doctor asks you, okay, you think you have pain. You say you have pain. You know you have pain. How strong is your pain on a scale of 1 through 10? Does anyone ask you that? Yes. You had that experience, right? What is your pain level on a scale of 1 to 10? And you say 3, or you say 7, or something like that. Is that objective or subjective? Subjective. That is subjective, because who knows it? Only you do. Because we can't really measure it, right? So that is a subjective statement, because only you feel that. It's from your own feeling, right? So that is subjective. But if we measure when you go to the doctor, or does the nurse take your blood pressure? Okay, is that objective or subjective? Objective. That's objective, because they put something around you, and then they punch you, and then you get to see the meter, and the meter tells you, 140 or whatever. That is objective. So there's a difference between objective and subjective. Got it? Okay, let's go back to number 13. The word is perceive. Perceive. Perceive has 2 syllables, and it's stressed on the second. Show me how to pronounce it. Show me with your body. Perceive. Perceive. Right, this is a verb. So when it's a transitive verb, it means to become aware of something or somebody directly through your senses. How many senses do you have? I have 5. What about you? 5. Do you have 5 also? Yeah. Okay, what are the 5 senses? How about this one? Seeing, right, sight. Okay, how about this one? Hearing, right, the sense of hearing, listening, hearing. Okay, what's another one? Feeling, right, touch, the feeling and the touch, right? Okay, what about this one? The sense of smell. What else this one? Sense of taste. Right, those are the 5 senses, right? We have the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, the sense of touch, the sense of smell, and the sense of taste. Those are the 5 senses. We can perceive our environment in many, many ways. Which sense do you use most? Sight? You use your sight most? Yeah? Okay, so if we turn off the light and we close all the doors and it's very dark, how do you feel? You feel comfortable? No, because you can't see, right? You feel uncomfortable because you really like to be able to see. Suppose you lost your sight. You became blind. How would that be for you? It would be terrible for you? Yeah, if you were blind? Yeah. Okay. What is it? What other sense do you use, especially when you're learning a language? Hearing. I'm trying to train your ears better, right? Are your ears getting stronger? Can you hear more? All right, we're listening. That's why we have our headphones on, right? And I'm speaking to you in my microphone so you can hear clearly into your headphones. So the sense of Hearing is important, especially for learning to speak a foreign language. And what else? What else do I have you do all the time? Move your body, right? I'm asking you to move your, feel it and move, feel the language. I'm saying that in learning to speak English well, you can not only learn the words and the meaning, but you learn how the word sounds and how the word feels. And so you can move your body. So when you move your body and you can emphasize the stressed syllables, you can speak more clearly and people can understand you, right? Don't forget that. Use your feeling of touch, your sense of touch. Now, in English, we don't use our sense of smell very much. Let me smell that word. What does it smell like? So far, I haven't found a way for you. Oh, that word. How does it taste? That's a delicious word. That's a tasty word. So, you know, in the English classroom, we probably don't use those senses very much. But let me tell you, if you are going into the field of culinary arts, you're going to our hospitality management classes, and you're taking culinary, cooking classes, please use your sense of smell and sight and taste to measure how well you cook your food. When we have our potluck, maybe we can use those senses for your grade. What do you think? Maybe not. Not for language. So most important things to use for language, your sight, your hearing, and please also use your body. Most classes, they don't ask you to do that, but I do, because I think your body helps you perceive. So perceive is the verb. Now, let me tell you the noun, because the noun is related to it, but it doesn't look like it. You know, like some sisters and brothers don't look very much alike, but they are in the same family. Perception. You know this word? Perception. P-E-R-C-E-P-T-I-O-N. Perception. 3-2. Perception. So can you please improve your perception of English? Perceive is the verb, and perception is the noun in the same family. So maybe you feel your perception of English, spoken English, is improving. I hope so. Anybody think so? Oh, good. That's good. Let's go to the next word. It's number 14. Process. 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 Okay, process is 2-1, and this is a noun, and it means the method or methods of doing something. It usually means a series of actions, not just one action, but several actions. Then these several actions can make some sort of a change. So, for example, when you first came to this class, a lot of you were unfamiliar with how to use our course management system, Angel. So I showed you the process. The first thing you have to do is log in with your username. Then the second thing you have to do is enter your password. Then you have to submit. Then you have to find your class. You have to click on the link to my class, right? And then if you want to go to read, if there's any mail for you, you go to communicate and you look at the mail. If you want to find your homework, you go to lessons. Then you go to assignments. And then you go to the month that we're in. And then you will find all of your assignments. So that's a process. That's the process. What is the process? So some of you want to, some of you want to become citizens of the United States. So that's a process too. What, can you just say, oh, I want to be a citizen? No. What do you have to do? Don't you have to take a test? Do you have to take a written test? Yes. And an oral test? Yes. Interview? Yes. Right. And you have to fill out a lot of papers, and you have to submit some papers, hand in some documents. I'm not sure. I didn't ever have to do that because I was born here, so I'm already a citizen. But if you weren't born here and you want to become a citizen, you have to follow the process. And the U.S. government, what is it, INS? Is it the Immigration and Naturalization Service? They tell you what the process is, and you follow that process, and then your result is, maybe if you're lucky, and if you follow all the steps, then you get to say yes, you take your oath, and you become a U.S. citizen. I think somebody in our class is doing that today. All right, let's go on to the next word, and that is research. Number 15 is research. Research has 2 syllables. And in the way I pronounce it and the way you hear it on the CD, what is the syllable stress code? Research. 2-1, right. So if you listen to me say research, research, how am I saying it? Watch me, watch me. Research, research. I'm saying it 2-1. But it's also possible to say research, research, 2-2. So both of them are correct. Both of them are correct. I say research when it means a noun, and you'll hear that on the audio CD. And so if you do your research, you do careful, close study of a certain subject or a field or some sort of a problem to discover the facts and the principles. So I wrote many books, and if I write the book, I don't just sit down and start typing some letters. I do my research first. So each chapter I did research. On this chapter for sleep, I did a lot of research about sleep and sleep debt, and I read a lot of materials, and I talked to some authorities. And then I wrote the chapter. So I did some research before I wrote the chapter. And I also did some field testing, but that's me after I write it, and then I let other teachers use it with their students, and then they gave me feedback. My students gave me feedback, and then I revised it. But in the beginning, I had to do some research. So research is done to study something. So some people are in the field of doing scientific research. Yesterday, somebody asked me, why are you a teacher? You don't make very much money. Do you like it? I said, well, yes, I love teaching. They said, you could make more money if you go to the university and become a researcher. And I said, maybe, but I only do a little research, and then I want to put it in the classroom. I do the research, and then I want to put it in the hands of my students, because that's what I like best. I like working with all of you. So, but beforehand, I do some research. Okay, so let's look at the next one, and that is specific. Specific. 3 syllables. Where's the stress? 2. Okay, it's an adjective, and it means exact or definite, or clear or particular. All right, so if I say, oh, there are many oceans in the world, right? We were looking at our globe in chapter 3 when we were doing the chapter on geography. And now I can say, well, which ocean, which specific ocean is California near? Oh, this is a good one, because specific and Pacific have the same syllable stress code. All right, so I want you to remember this. Look at me. The specific ocean next to California is the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, okay. So Pacific and specific rhyme. These are 2 that have the same syllable stress code. 3, 2. Show me with your body. Specific. Good. This is an adjective. We can add A-L-L-Y to it, and we have specifically. That is an adverb, right? I specifically told you to do this, not that, right? So specific means to specify. Now let me tell you the verb. The verb is related in the same family is specify. So specify has 3 syllables, but it doesn't have the same syllable stress code. Can you hear the difference? Where's the stress on this word? Specify. 3-1. Okay, that's spelled S-P-E-C-I-F-Y, to specify. Okay, please, if you just write me an email and say, help, the quiz doesn't work. I don't know which quiz. I don't know what problem. You need to specify which quiz doesn't work. And also doesn't work, what does that mean? What do you mean it doesn't work? You have to specify which quiz, and you have to specify what you did and what didn't work. Then maybe I can help you. But if you don't specify it, it's too general. So specific and general. Specific, specific, and general. All right? So those are kind of used as opposites. Let's look at the next word. Stimulation. Stimulation. 4 syllables. Stress the 3rd. Watch me. Stimulation. Show me. Stimulation. Good. You see Asian, right? Asian is the noun form. Always Asian. So stimulation. Stimulation. 4-3. This is an action. Asian means some kind of action. So this is an action that causes energy or activity to increase. Okay? Now, what is the verb? Do you know the verb? Okay, watch me. Watch me. Let me think. I want you to think about the verb we learned before. Do you remember the verb accumulate? Remember that verb? That's the first part of it of this lesson. And accumulation. So watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Accumulate and accumulation. So now we have and stimulation. Can you figure out what the syllable stress code is for the verb? Stimulate. Very good. All right, so follows the same pattern. Stimulate. Stimulate. Okay, S-T-I-M-U-L-A-T-E. Stimulate. All right, stimulate is the verb, and the action of being stimulated is stimulation. And what do we call something that stimulates you? You call that a stimulant. A stimulant. Maybe some medications, or something like caffeine is a stimulant. A-N-T. A-N-T. That's a noun. That means a substance, something that stimulates you. A stimulant. Maybe stimulate, you know, that's why some people like to drink coffee or tea, because it stimulates you, makes you feel more energetic. Question?
Stimulus.
And stimulus, right. S-T-I-M-U-L-U-S. A stimulus is something which causes you to have more energy or causes you to do another action. For example, if we have well, for example, in instruction, in teaching, in education, sometimes we have a stimulus on a test, and then the students from the stimulus need to do something. So we have a stimulus, and then we have some sort of response, a stimulus and a response. Okay, so since our other students want to come in very soon, we had better finish up. Okay, let's do number 19. Task. Task. Easy because it's only one syllable, but sometimes students confuse this when I say, I have a task for you. Lots of times you go, oh, a test? A test? You have a test for us? I don't say test, I say task. Watch my mouth. Watch my mouth. Watch my mouth. My mouth, yours and mine. Okay, hold your mirror and go this. Task. Okay, you're looking in your mirror? Task. All right, and that's different from this one. Watch me. Test. Test. Task. Task. And also task. So a task means an assignment, a job that needs to be performed. Okay? So if I give you a task, that means I'm going to give you an activity. I'm going to give you something to do. So sometimes I say, all right, I want you to sit in a group of 3, and after you get your group, you put your chairs together, then I will tell you the task. And some of you go, a test? I go, no, not the test, the task, the job, the thing you're going to do. All right, so right now our task is to put away our headphones and go on to our next classroom.
Oh, on Tuesday we had a test and then I wasn't here.
Why not?
Why not? I was sick.
Did you call me? Did you email me?
What?
Did you call me or email me?
No, I couldn't do anything.
Okay. Do you have a laptop computer?
Yes, I do.
Bring it in at 3 o'clock today to my office.
I live in San Jose downtown, so.
Well, okay, then don't come. You have an option. I'm going to let you come at 3 o'clock today or never.